Hi Taurus, I am your tarot translator, Ariel, and I am here to do a love reading for the sign of Taurus. So I'm just cleansing the energy right now with a little bit of sage and this adorable little elephant. How cute is that? So I'm gonna put him right over here. That actually is just brand new and I wanted to show it to you. In any event, I've already cleared the space. I've already shuffled the cards. We're gonna jump right in and get started. This is a general love reading for the sign of Taurus. So you're gonna take what resonates for you, leave whatever's not for you for someone else. I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards first, and then I'm going to be pulling from the traditional tarot to get you some of the overall messages clarified. Let's get started right now. I'm gonna first start off with getting 5 cards about the current situation that you're in, and these are a combination of 2 decks, but they tend to give me a good idea of like what some of the overall themes of your current situation is right now. First one that came out is denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Next is relationships. Let's get 3 more. Thank you. Happiness, which is I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Again, we came out with relationships, so that's sandwiching happiness, and service came out as your last card, which is I feel good when I can help others. At the bottom of the deck, we do have self-esteem, and that talks about I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Okay, Taurus, so this is gonna give me just the first layer of information I need for this particular reading. And so far, because I have relationship twice, sandwiching happiness, on one end we have service, on the other end we have denial. So happiness in the middle, and then service and denial on either end of those. I'm thinking right now that I've got a situation where maybe you're dealing with a fellow Taurus, maybe you're dealing with, you don't have to be, but you could be dealing with somebody of the same zodiac sign. You could be in a situation where, you know, one of you feels like, so you're both working towards happiness in this relationship. You really want there to be a harmonious outcome in it, but one of you has some denial towards certain aspects of themselves, maybe some of their shadow side, maybe some of their, tendencies in the relationship that if you bring them forward to them and try to communicate with them about them, they might be like, well, you know, not necessarily gaslighting, but a little bit of like, you know, I don't see it that way, or I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings, but that sort of thing is what I'm getting from that. And then service, I feel good when I can help others. I feel like on the other side of this relationship, there's a person that is just a little bit more giving, right? So like, in every relationship, I think that, let's say for the majority of relationships, there is typically one person who is just slightly more into or in love with the opposite partner. And that for some reason just always seems the way that it's worked out in the majority of relationships I've seen. I've rarely seen relationships where both people are just equally feeling exactly the same towards each other. One person sometimes has like the upper hand, so to speak. One of these is not wanting to come out, but look at that, you got 2. See, let's go ahead and take a look at what you got. So we've got the Emperor and the Oracle. That's really interesting. So these are typically the cards that I put right here to my left, which is the overall themes for the reading. So because it's very clear to me that this is a reading that is coming out on purpose, mirroring in a way, like 2 people that are mirroring each other, I'm gonna keep both of those there. And then I'm gonna grab 2 of these angel card messages. I'm just going to give it one more shuffle. And these are going to be intended to be one for your person and then one for you. Let's see. If I'm coming across as a little nervous, it's because I have the cutest Milo Muppet under my desk right now, and I'm trusting him with all my heart that he's not going to start barking at the first squirrel he sees walk out this door. Couldn't find his bark collar, so I don't like to use it, but I like to just have the peace of mind knowing that he has it. Anyways, TMI. The card that came out for you, Taurus, is 222. Feminine forces, relationships, balance, prosperity, efficiency, patience, and humility. You can do everything by yourself, but life is to be shared. Partner up with the right spirit and you'll become a force. Honor commitments and people around you. Don't judge. Listen more. Okay, so that number came out for you. That's 222. I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to pull out a card for your person. Your person got the number 6666. Great blessings. Self-love, boundaries. Needs, good vibes, wisdom, understanding, and letting go. Nurture yourself and your needs, desires, and boundaries. Let go of things that are weighing you down. Make space for something meaningful and expand your spirit to all the areas of your life. That big love opportunity or job needs to squeeze in somewhere. Okay, so this is talking about, obviously great things coming your way. And that's next to the Emperor, which is a total Mac Daddy, boss daddy of the zodiac, typically represented by the sign of Aries. So maybe you might have some endeavors that you're working on currently, or your partner has some endeavors that they're working on currently that are going to bear fruit, something that they've been investing in or that you've been investing in, or maybe it's the relationship is really getting to that precipice of really being able to lead to this space of happiness. Maybe y'all have been through some harder times in the past and you're getting to a space where you're finally feeling like things are moving in the right direction. The Oracle on the other side, feminine forces, and the Oracle is seen as a feminine energy with 2222. That's talking about relationships, balances, and prosperity. So there's prosperity here on both ends. It's interesting because the Oracle is a very feminine energy and the Emperor is typically seen as a very masculine energy, but just keep in mind that these energies can be reversed. We don't read gender in tarot, but that is something that is coming out, so I mentioned it. All right, I'm gonna go in here with this next tarot deck, or oracle deck, and I'm going to ask to get some clarification. So you've got denial, relationships, happiness, relationships again, and service. All right, could be dealing with a Virgo also, or a Capricorn, or another one of the mutable signs, earth signs. So we've got friction under denial, under relationship on one half Taurus, and I don't know which half is yours and which half is your partner's. We have all of my exes are crazy. That's the spirit. And on the next one, which is happiness, the mutual energy binding the two of you, we have I impersonate the unicorn, just my luck. And this is why I do not date online. This is a really funny card. I love cats. It's hilarious. I'm going to read into that in a moment. Let's move on to relationships on the other side here. We lost so much time. I didn't mean to take things so long to get together. I just want to spend what's left with you. So these are just some confirmation cards. You'll resonate with them. You'll know more of the storyline than I do, obviously. We've got wants to teach, be taught, like vintage things. So someone who likes to teach, and this came under service, so there's some synchronicity there with service and then wants to teach and likes to be taught. So one of you is sort of the oracle, the teacher, the person that's a little bit more high frequency or mature in the relationship that tends to take on the role of, helping the situation along and guiding the situation along. We had different yet so perfect at the bottom of the deck. So peanut butter and jelly sandwiches representing that. We're meant to be together like PB&J. Who would have thought we would go so well together? Well, I don't know. Maybe both of you or one of you didn't necessarily think in the beginning that you were each other's type, but yet here you've come all this way and you're still working towards making sure that this works. So under denial, we had friction, right? And this card talks about very obviously like what it shows on the card. It's this relationship was meant to make you uncomfortable, to force you to grow. You were becoming complacent. So there could be some denial on the half of the partner who is experiencing this friction, who is experiencing this growth. So this could be a partner where, they like to be right. Tauruses are very well known for being a bit stubborn. Perhaps if you're dealing with a fellow Taurus in this situation, this person truly feels like, I know what I know that I'm right. I hear your problems and your issues within the relationship. I'm listening, but I'm sort of listening and sort of thinking to myself at the same time, but like, I know I'm right? But this is done on purpose because every relationship we have is meant to help us grow. I mean, that's why we have these soul contracts with people way before we even get here. Whether they are platonic or romantic, whether it's your coworker or your romantic partner or your boss or your girlfriend or whomever it is, it's somebody that's meant to teach you something, right? And I always say we typically grow the most from the most difficult situations. Under relationships, on one side we have all my exes are crazy. Why do they have to have this in common? Is there any chance you play a role? Okay, so this could be talking about you or your person, feeling like okay, my past relationships have been a little ludicrous in certain ways. And I just feel like maybe this is a reminder that we attract like the frequency and the vibration that we're currently at, right? So you can't attract like emperor energy if you're working at page energy, which means like you can't attract like the, billionaire CEO of a company if you're somebody who like it doesn't have, you don't necessarily have to make the same amount of money as that person, but you can't attract them if you're coming from a lower vibrational frequency of like, I don't have confidence in myself. I'm not valuable enough for that person. I'm not worthy enough of that person's love. And this is just like a really extreme example, not that we're all out here looking for billionaires or anything like that, but I'm just saying that that's an example of two very different frequencies, right? Somebody who's got that sort of status, they might be spiritually bankrupt though, right? Or they might not necessarily all people with money are spiritually bankrupt, but let's just say from the aspect of value, one person has a mindset of like, sort of Eeyore thinking, like nothing ever really goes my way. And this person's up here like, I'm boss. Like I get everything that I want because I work hard towards that stuff. I make a game plan and I don't have time to sit around and think about what's not. All I have time for is to go in the direction of what I need. Okay, let's get away from this comparison with the scale going like this, because this person could definitely be more spiritual and have more value in that respect. And this person could be spiritually bankrupt, but have a lot of financial success. So I'm just giving you an example here of, why is it telling us that all of my exes are crazy, yet could I be the problem? Could I be the reason why I attract these certain types of people and repeat these certain types of cycles? Under happiness, my luck, and this is why I don't date online, I impersonate the unicorn. So, maybe one or both of you felt like in the beginning of this relationship, this person was sort of masking. And I talked about masking before. Everybody does it to a certain extent. It's upholding our social norms in society. We asked one way with our grandparents, another way with our siblings, another way with our boss, another way with our spouse. Maybe in the beginning, this person presented themselves as like this perfect unicorn, right? Like, I am everything you've ever wanted and needed in a partner, and I am loving, I'm warm, I am just your perfect soulmate, right? Or at least one of them. And yet over time, they showed some of their true colors and they started to act more like who they really are, which can be a little bit selfish or be a little bit arrogant or be a little bit controlling or be a little bit, I'm getting for some reason just opposite of that original like 3 to 6 month masking period. Maybe they held on longer than that. So underneath relationships now on the other side, we lost so much time. So feeling of something went south here for a moment. Okay. Maybe not currently still in this moment. Is it south? Maybe we're working towards betterment of the relationship. But for a period of time, maybe you all split or maybe you all took a little break because there were certain things that just weren't fulfilling and you guys had some really honest moments with each other about what was not working. Under service, we've got, I like to teach or be taught. I also like vintage things. So again, I'm just getting this feeling of like one of you is sort of the leader in saying, hey, let's let me help you to evolve through this relationship. And one is more cognizant than the other of the fact that like growth needs to happen here for both of you. This is the most beautiful deck ever. It is a very special deck because it's and this is just a card to show you, but this is a holographic deck, right? So it has two meanings. Every picture in this deck has two meanings, and it's just a beautiful art depiction. I got this deck. I had to wait like 8 months to get this deck. I wanted it for so long. It's from a beautiful artist out in California. All right, so let's just jump in and see what the tarot says. I'm going to start off the top row with their current feelings towards you. This person's current feelings towards Taurus, please. Thank you. We've got the King of Pentacles, okay, followed by the Star, which is healing. We've got the Tower in the middle. We've got the Hanged Man, and I'll show you all of these cards, and we'll clarify. And then we have the Fool. Okay, so let's just clarify this really quick here, and then we will jump right in to explain it to you. All right, so first we had the King of Pentacles to the Hermit. And here's those two gorgeous cards, the King of Pentacles to the Hermit here. So on the other side of the Hermit, it says the Cosmic Tree. On the other side of King of Pentacles, it says the Commander. So the King of Pentacles is an extremely stable king. He makes a great income. He's very financially stable. In fact, here you have him represented with a bull, which we know is the sign of Taurus, and the Hermit. So this King of Pentacles is sort of contemplating right now, is sort of taking a moment to do some inner perspective, inner work, is also doing some really deep dive thinking about the relationship, followed by the healing and the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands talks about victory after a long battle, and the Star talks about healing. So here's those two gorgeous cards for you to see. So, and that came under relationships. So where we had denial and friction, we had the King of Pentacles, which is, you know, an earth sign. And then we had the Hermit, which is also an earth sign. So, and Taurus is an earth sign. So, but then we had friction and denial. So I think this King of Pentacles is sitting there sort of contemplating, like, in what areas is my partner in denial about the frictions that we still have that exist in our relationship? Under relationships, all my exes are crazy. Am I maybe the problem? We have the Six of Wands, which is, you know, growth, expansion, moving forward towards calmer waters. And we have the Star, which is healing energy. So both of those talk about somebody saying, okay, in my past relationships, I've had issues or situations where I felt like I didn't have a true partnership, right? I had somebody who maybe just didn't pick up as much of like the responsibilities in the relationship. I was always the one giving more. There wasn't a ton of reciprocity, but now we're starting to turn a new leaf. We're going Six of Wands. We're getting some victory after some heavier times that happened before, and we're in the Star mode, which is we are starting to feel like we're healing. And this again is your partner's feelings towards you. In the next row, we're going to do their next likely actions towards you. We've got the Tower here, which again talks about something that happened in the past that, you know, shook up the foundation, that required, you know, both of you to really contemplate, like, what are we doing here? Is this what we both want? Is this relationship healthy for both of us? Knight of Pentacles. I love this deck, but it is a little hard to read at times because, as you can see with that holographic shift, the words are shifting as I'm picking the cards up. So Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, but yet they're a very methodical knight. They do not rush into things. They know that they have to really sit and contemplate and do some hermit mode of their own before they are ready to present that Ace of Pentacles along their journey. So something here tells me that the Tower hit, something happened that affected the happiness of this relationship in the past, but yet you guys are working together as far as I can tell. Or one of you is working, you know, a little harder than the other, but yet the other person is still on board for wanting this relationship to come come through, you know, for the long term. We do again have the Hangman to the Ten of Swords. So this again is telling me something about, and it came under, we lost so much time and relationships on the other side of this reading. So this tells me again that something happened here, right? Ten of Swords is a very heavy energy of, it can feel like betrayal. It doesn't necessarily have to mean cheating, but it could mean like, for example, let's say y'all were married and living together, and one day one person just had an explosive, you know, I'm sick of this, right? And like got up and left. Took their things, packed up, and like went to their parents' house or something like that. Like that can be seen as an abandonment, as a really big betrayal, because when two people are married or when two people have chosen to live together, they're really saying, hey, like, it's us now. It's us against the world. Like we no longer have that option like we did back when we were younger and dating. And it's like, oh, I'm mad at you. I'm going to my mom's house, right? Like I remember one time in a relationship of mine, I was living with this person. I mean, I wasn't officially like on the deed of the house or anything like that, but I was living with this person, and we were very, very, very much in a serious relationship. And I got extremely mad at him one day, and I literally packed up my things like a little kid. I mean, I was having a tantrum, and I threw all my things in my bag and my makeup and my purse and all my stuff, and I went to my mom's house, and my mom was like, get out of here. You can't do that. You live with this person now. You are each other's problem. You go figure your things out like a real couple together, or you come back home. But like if this, and it wasn't like a violent situation or anything like that. My mother would have never sent me back home if I was like, oh my gosh, I'm scared this person's beating me. It wasn't like that. It was just, she knew that I was acting out, and that I was upset, and that I wasn't getting my way for whatever reason, and that I felt like it was an option to just leave that person that I was living with whenever I wanted to go back home. And she's like, that's not how relationships work. And it's a lesson that I'll always remember. Like I was fairly young when that happened. But next we have the Fool and the Nine of Pentacles. So the Fool talks about new beginnings. In this particular deck, the Fool is represented both by the Death card and the Fool card, which is really interesting because the Death and the Fool can be sort of locked in together as far as how the Death has to do with a rebirth, so like a fresh start, and the Fool is literally the number 0 in the tarot. So it's the very first card in the tarot card's journey of the person taking a leap of faith and starting something fresh and new, followed by the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about, having that independence and that feeling of I am all good on my own, that feeling of I have everything that I need and I worked really hard to obtain these things. So that comes under service and wants to be taught, or likes vintage things, or likes to teach others. I feel good when I can help others. So maybe this Fool's journey for both of you in the current energy of how they feel towards you is like you're giving this person this new beginning. They've sort of held on to things from their past before. They've held on to this resentment towards prior relationships that didn't work out. And they were letting some of that bleed into this relationship. And now they're finally getting to a space where they're like, okay, I surrender. I'm going to trust, which is really hard for me. I'm going to trust that you're not going to lie to me, cheat on me, do these things that this past person has done to me. And I'm ready to, hold on to my independence still because I'm terrified of letting that go, but go on this Fool's journey with you. Let's take a look at what the likely actions are going to take towards you are, the next likely actions that they're going to take towards you in this relationship. We've got the Five of Wands, followed by the Page of Swords, followed by the Ace of Swords. 2 more, please. 5 of Swords, and the Page of Cups. All right, let's clarify these really quick, and then I will let you know. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands. All right, so in actions that they're going to take towards you, we've got Nine of Wands energy here. And the Nine of Wands is followed by the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is very well known in the tarot as a card of feeling left out in the cold, right? So this is coming up for me as like past energy, feeling left out in the cold. And the Nine of Wands, feeling like, you want to move forward from that energy, moving forward from that stagnant energy of feeling left out in the cold. It's not the 10 of Wands, which is like the, this is so heavy, I can't bear to carry it anymore, and leads to a new beginning. It's 9 of Wands, which talks about sort of a wounded warrior feeling, like somebody who's like been in battle with their person and just feels like, I'm so worn out and tired from all of the times that we disagree and all the times that we sort of don't get along and all of the times that I feel left out in the cold or feel unheard by you. So in actions that they're going to take towards you, we've got the 3 of Pentacles is working together, and the Page of Swords is sort of like an energy of reflection, right? They're studying you. They're wanting to make sure that they know, what are they doing wrong? How can they fix it? What could they do better? How do they get back into your good graces? I see them having some intuition. High Priestess to the Ace of Swords. This talks about having an honest conversation and revealing some truths, intuitively knowing that they need to do this in order to be able to, again, like fix this tower moment that happened in the past. So they're aware of the fact that they have some changes that they need to make, or you're aware that you have some changes that you need to make in order for this relationship to be successful and ultimately work out in the long run. Because again, we've got this similar theme here. 5 of Pentacles here, 5 of Swords here. 5 of Swords and Strength talks about the 5 of Swords is arguments, right? It's mental battles. It can be battles within the psyche of one or both of you. So contemplations, is this good for me? Are we going to make it through this? It could be actual like arguments outwardly, right? Where you're actually having like verbal confrontations with your partner. And then Strength. This can either talk about this person holding back some of that 5 of Swords energy that they have. So they are still in a feeling of like, you know, is this going to work out? Like what's working for me in this relationship? What's not? Does this person get me? Is this really like something that's going to last for the long run, or is this going to be another failed relationship? It is coming underneath relationships. It is coming underneath the Tower and the 10 of Swords. The Strength can talk about holding back those feelings, right? Like, or it can talk about having the strength to move forward and share those feelings. Like maybe you guys are going to, you know, in therapy or something like that, you guys feel like that's a safe space to share some of those feelings with each other. Okay, moving on, we've got the Page of Cups to the 6 of Pentacles. So this is talking about, you know, equal give and take. The 6 of Pentacles here, you've got 2 people who are holding on to the Ace of Pentacles. In the traditional tarot, it's somebody who's giving 3 pentacles here and 3 pentacles here, but it talks about reciprocity. And then the Page of Cups, which can very much talk about an apology. So this person coming to terms with the fact that there's some serious apologies that need to be made for things that have happened in the past. I'm not getting that you all are ready to just totally throw the towel into this relationship, but I am getting that you guys feel like there's some serious stuff that needs to be worked on here. I'm going to use the After Tarot deck to clarify the energies between the 2 of you. So this is the mutual energies between the top row and the bottom row for you and your person. And this deck is just slightly different from the traditional tarot deck. It depicts pictures of what happens just after the original story of the tarot. So we've got the 8 of Pentacles, the Strength, the King of Swords, the 8 of Swords, and the Star. Bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Swords right there. So, okay, what's going on here mutually between the 2 of you? Again, I'm not getting that you guys want to end this. I'm getting very much that you want to put in the hard work, right? That you want to put in. The 8 of Pentacles talks about somebody who is working extremely hard, really, really hard. They work day and night tirelessly on their craft or on their relationship to get it to be that ideal 10 of Pentacles that they're looking for. The Strength, you both are holding on to strength here in wanting to make this work, you know. In the traditional tarot, she's got her hand in the mouth of the tiger. She's taming it. In this one, she's already tamed it. So she's already been successful in taming this tiger. The King of Swords, again, talks about that honest conversation. And this came right here with the Ace of Swords. So some sort of honest conversation here is really important to both of you. Trust, honesty is really important to both of you. This is mutual energy. You're both sort of still in an energy of 8 of Swords, but yet in this one, whereas in the traditional tarot, we have her wrapped up, blindfolded with 8 swords around her, not realizing like she could very easily untie her hands, take off the bandana, and then be able to see the 8 swords around her and remove them. In this one, we've got her partner or somebody that cares about her or somebody that's just come across her path, helping to cut off of those restraints so that she can take off her blindfold eventually and realize like that she's not actually stuck. It's a very mental headspace stuck energy. It's not a I'm truly stuck in a situation. And then again, we have the Star. So in the Star in the traditional tarot, she is bathing outside of the water, right? So she's outside of the water and she is grabbing the water. It's Aquarius energy and she's getting ready to sort of pour it over herself to bathe. And in this deck after tarot, we've got her, she's already in the water bathing with it. So she's already cleansing out some of these negative energies. So again, for me, this tells me that we're in a situation here where both of you want this to work. It's really just a matter of like, you know, getting there. Let's just look at outcome really quick for you. I'm going to push these cards back for a moment here. The outcome, please, for Taurus and the person that they're dealing with in love. I'm going to pull 5 cards. Okay, so we've got the 4 of Wands, talks about marriage, long-term commitment, talks about 2 people who have decided they want to have a marital home together. It doesn't necessarily have to be married, like legally, but they are choosing to be with each other long-term. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is a very nurturing energy. She's accepted the Ace of Pentacles from her partner. They've obtained that 10 of Pentacles, which is like, you know, everybody's dream, right? It's like the house, the dog, the kids, the blended family. The Tower was here, right? But this is after tarot. So the Tower already hit, which is what I was gathering when I was reading earlier. It felt to me like it wasn't like a tower that's coming. It's a tower that had already hit. So this is confirmation that tower between the 2 of you already hit, and yet you still decide that you want to give the Ace of Cups to each other, that you're accepting each other's love and that you're accepting each other with your flaws and that you're willing to really, really try and make this work moving forward. So this is what I have for you. I think that we're just going to wrap up the reading with 1 card from this deck right here, which is just a reminder from the universe of like, what can you work on for yourself? If 2 cards pop out, then that's what happens, because sometimes the universe doesn't give me what I want. It gives me what I need. There you go. All right. So we have Winter's Dream, gestation period. So yeah, again, that's giving me the feeling of like, you know, in a season right now of like hibernation, of rethinking, of hermit mode, of trying to transcend this current situation. I'm going to put this right here in the middle. It's a really beautiful card, but it is definitely a card of metamorphosis. It's a card of things coming to change. I'm being called to just get a couple of these cards from the Message Oracle deck. And these are just cards that give us some messages that your person might be feeling towards you or that you might be feeling about this situation. And whatever pops out, we'll just let pop out. I don't try to control how many of these come out. Sometimes people are chattier than others. All right, so we've got trust, warning, patience, and strictly sexual. So we could say that, you know, maybe this person feels, and here I'll show you these cards so you can see them, and then I'll express to you what they mean and what they're giving me. So what I'm gathering here is if this person could tell you something that maybe they don't feel comfortable telling you consciously, they would say in the past they've been in strictly sexual relationships, which are really passionate but not enduring, and that gave them a lot of trust issues, right? It gave them trust issues. Is it safe to trust in this situation. I mean, they're constantly feeling like they have crazy exes in their past, and they feel like everything's a warning, right? But it's also saying for you, don't miss the red flags. Sometimes we want something so bad and we're willing to, you know, go through the tower time and time again with a person and continue to give them our Ace of Cups. But ultimately it's like, you know, keep track of those red flags even when you're so in love that you're willing to get over them, right? Don't not have a mental note of them. And then patience, everything will I can't even say it. Everything will unfold in divine timing. I always laugh when I see divine timing because I know for myself, when I was going through my really, really hardest time in my life, hearing about divine timing would literally make my eyes roll. Like, I want it now. Divine timing is always best though, right? I know that now, but it is certainly something that can be hard to accept because patience is something that we all struggle with as humans. But Taurus, this is what I have for you. I think that with time, with patience, with honesty, with just being really vulnerable and open with your partner, that's the best that you can do. You've got a shot at really making this turn around, be healthier for the second half of this relationship. But yet at the same time, remembering that, you know, there's room for growth and expansion, and yet at the same time, we have to use our discernment and use our intuition to know when it's time to let something go. So I don't see this ending right now. I see this as being two people that are really trying to make this work. But like all situations, there's no perfect relationship. And this one is no different. This one has some things that need to be worked on, but ultimately I see two people that do love each other and are committed to trying to really make this work. So it was an honor to read for you. Thank you so much. This is your tarot translator. Please like, share, and subscribe. If this isn't your story, but you feel like it's really relatable to somebody that you know, please share it with them. We're building a sense of community here. So please leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you like this card style. There's a lot of different card styles that I intend to do with further readings that I do coming down the road. So much fun spending time with you today here. And thanks again for giving me a bit of your time. I'll talk to you next time. And really quick, let's just say thank you to Milo for not barking during my reading. I was really nervous. I rarely have a glitch when I'm reading. I'm in such a state of flow. But I caught myself a couple times during this reading where I was like reading the card and I'm like trying to intuitively decipher what it's saying. And then he would like rustle around underneath the table right underneath my feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, if he starts barking, I'm going to have to like stop and it's going to mess with my flow. And so thank you for not barking, Milo. Yay! He's a good boy. He gonna get treats. He gonna get treats for being a good boy. All right, that's it. Tarot translator out.